All right, are we ready to talk about Deflate Gate? You damn right we are. Oh no, not again, they say. Yes, because there are things out there that are flying around here that people are saying about this that they're going on just complete bullshit that they think is the truth, so they're using it in their arguments over and over and over again. And I'm going to go through those things, and I'm going to tell you what probably matches Bill Belichick's story and why that is very probable that it went down the way it was. Even though both teams, the balls were checked. But it happened to the Patriots and not the Colts. I'm gonna tell you why it went down that way and why, yes, it happened to the Patriots, but it didn't happen to the Colts. Holy cow, someone's actually gonna like do that? Somebody's going to explain it? Yeah, I'm going to explain it to you. Why it happened to the Patriots and why the Colts weren't as easily affected by the air pressure drop. Because I use my powerful brain. Here we go. First of all, were the balls checked in the first place? No one has established that. People are using it as the gospel. That, oh, the refs, of course they did. They did that. The refs don't screw up. Except for the Dallas game with pass interference and the other Dallas game with, going to the ground and retaining possession. But those refs are idiots. But refs who check footballs before the game, they don't make mistakes. And they would never lie to you. A referee would never try to save his ass by saying he did something that he didn't do. That would not happen in America. So were the balls checked? We don't know. Throw that off your list. Was this a sting operation? Because in Week 11, the Patriots supposedly played with underinflated footballs against the Colts. Colts found out about it and they went, hey, watch them in the AFC game, you guys. So we were looking for this. And people are saying, oh, well, that's why. They went right to them. They caught a ball and went, see, here's ball. Here it is. Check it out. We knew all along. Really? So you waited till the AFC Championship game to set up your sting and you have no video of ball handling, no video of what happened, no video of the ball boy on the field or anything, and you had a sting operation up, but you just didn't really plan on filming it to show people, look what they're doing over in the corner here? Really? And you let yourself play half of a football game before you ratted anybody out instead of tipping everybody off that, hey, the ball's over there uninflated before we play this game? Really? If that's your sting operation, you deserve to fucking lose. Next. Were the Colts balls checked? I'm going to give the league the benefit of the doubt on this because, I'm going to say, yeah, they must have been. I'm not going to say, well, the Colts balls weren't, because Patriot fans are saying that. The Colts balls weren't even checked, so we don't know that either. We're taking it as a given. I'm taking it on the league that, yeah, they probably did check both teams at the half and found out that there was a discrepancy. So I'll let you slide on that one. I'll let you slide on that one. The mouthpieces that want. Pats fans, don't use that yet. Don't use it yet. The balls were all 2 pounds under. I was reading an NBC story, which, whatever, like their news, and it said all the balls were found to be 2 pounds under, whatever. So then they fly out there, and Don Shula and everybody runs their face saying, oh yeah, well, they couldn't, they had to, if they were exact, then it shows that it was intentional. Well, now we know that they weren't. Some were a half a pound under, some were 1.5, 1.3, whatever. They weren't all exactly 2 pounds, which bolsters the case that maybe whether handling of the ball preparation, whatever, did cause air pressure discrepancy. Because they were varied. If Tom Brady wanted the balls to all feel a certain way, they would all be exactly the same. You wouldn't go, well, hey, I need 3 balls that are 1.6. Give me a ball that's 1.3. We may be in a third and short situation, and that will be a handoff. So make sure that ball's okay. I don't need that one uninflated. That's ball number 12. And no, wrong. So all the balls were not equally under pressure. One of them was as low as 2 pounds, the ball that was intercepted, and the other ones were not. They were outside of the margin, but they were less than 2 pounds. Which leads us to the interception. The interception was not directly the discovery. Everybody wants to make out like the ball was intercepted. The player that intercepted went, what the hell is this shit? And then went and complained. No, the player that intercepted it said that he could not tell. He had no clue whatsoever. He threw it to the equipment manager because he wanted it for a souvenir because he picked off Tom Brady in an AFC championship game, which is what players do. They always do that. They save their touchdowns. They save their picks. They keep the game ball as a souvenir. It goes on the trophy case, and he threw it to the equipment guy who was standing there fucking around and was like, Jesus, feel this thing. It's got less air. It's, whatever. Okay? Than the ones that are fresh in the bag. Now, why would there be a difference? Okay, like Bill Belichick said, let's take this balloon. You want to blow this balloon up. What do most people do when they blow a balloon up? They don't instantly blow air into a balloon. What do? Do this stuff, right? You stretch it out and blow a balloon. That's what you do with it. Why? Why do you do this? Because loosening the balloon up causes the air pressure necessary to blow up the balloon to not be as much, so you don't blow your eyeballs out of your head. That's why you do it. So Belichick said we rough the balls up. We do this because it's texture to the player. They want the texture. They don't want the slippery on the ball, so they rough the ball all up. They rough it up, they weaken the skin, they're made of animal skin, and that changes the amount of pressure that could be in a ball. So, first of all, the preparations that the Patriots do, they may not work this as hard. So, take this one that hasn't been touched, and this one that you've worked up, and blow them both up. Okay, maybe the Colts don't do that. Maybe luck doesn't require as much of a process. That's what Belichick was trying to explain, that people are just kind of letting go as that doesn't make any difference anyway. But actually it does. And we know it from just our simple home whatever that we do with these damn things. But that's the first thing. The other thing that happens is the weather. Now, yes, both teams played in the rain, and both teams were wet, and both teams were equally 50 degrees. But water has an adverse effect on animal skin. Look at the gloves that OJ had, okay? You want to talk about football players having a problem with leather? Well, he had it the right way, because the glove that was used in the crime, once it was bloody and wet, it shrunk afterwards. The animal skin shrinks after it's wet, it shrinks. Well, imagine if the glove was full of air. What happens when it dries off and shrinks? The air pressure goes up. So when it's wet, it loosens, the air pressure goes down. But we know the Colts balls and the Patriots balls were both on the field. Yes. But the Colts balls for the first half were on the field in a bag. Most of them. Because they didn't have any time of possession. They weren't on the field that much. They had 7 points of offense. They spent most of their time playing defense. Their balls weren't out on the field getting landed on, getting worked over, getting wet in the rain. They were inside of this bag. Now, it could have been a mesh bag. If it was a mesh athletic bag like you see in gyms, then some of the exterior balls would be wet, but still some of the balls that were inside would be dry. Now, what happens when you go to take these balls inside? You go to take the balls inside, the Patriots have all these wet balls, they discover something's amiss, they go in at halftime, and what happens? They start doing their air pressure experiment. If they do the Patriots balls first and take all the pressures, what's happening to the Colts balls while they're taking valuable time checking all the Patriots? They're drying off. So the Colts balls that weren't necessarily as wet in the first place have even more time to dry off, which they shrink up again because they're drying, just like when you dry a shirt that you've washed. Hang it on the line wet, you're good to go. You put it in the warm dryer and dry it quicker, it shrinks up. And animal skin, this is magnified a lot more with a pig skin than it is just with your sweatshirt. But that's what happens. So, this is how it could have been a discrepancy. First of all, the Colts could have inflated their balls to the maximum 13.5. The Patriots only 12.5. That's a 1 pound difference right there. Then you have the balls being worked over more because the Patriots are out on the field landing on them and doing whatever because they're actually playing with them and they're not sitting on the sideline not being used as much or getting as wet. Then the measurement comes into play where they take all of the air pressures while the Patriots balls are still wet, fresh off the field. The Colts, they're over there in a bag and they're drying off. And then they get to those after their discussion, or check them after, or whenever they check them. They could have checked those after the game. Who knows how much time they had to do it or when they exactly did it. But easily, both processes aren't the same. The balls aren't exactly the same. And it could have happened just the way Bill Belichick said it did. And I have actually faith that it did. So there you go.